worse than it was before. If I hadn't seen such.
And it's Thierry Henry, and Henry is magnificent. It's absolutely magnificent. And when you need a goal, you need Thierry Henry.
Something change played through the centre. It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent.
So, good evening, everyone. That start-up didn't go great. Sometimes StreamYard is a bit of a pain in the backside doing that. But tonight we have Warren's Team Talk, top guy. Everybody, go and subscribe to this guy. He does awesome content. And we have Kyle Walsh, Gunner, top fella. We're going to go and subscribe to him, people. These guys need super support. They do some amazing streams. But tonight we're going to talk about the Invincibles. 2003-04. An amazing season. Something that had only ever happened once in history before. 1889, Preston North End went unbeaten. And I've seen people say, "Oh, it's irrelevant." Well, no, they went unbeaten. That's a hell of a thing to achieve, in my book. And that, in excess, back in time, was something quite special. But we're going to talk about this Arsenal team. Were they the greatest team that Arsenal have ever produced? You have to go down the road of possibly. We did in 1991 almost achieve that with George Graham, unfortunately losing to Chelsea 2-1. But it nearly happened. But, here we go. Arsene Wenger has an awesome setup. Probably one of the greatest setups of Arsenal I've ever seen. Warren, what's your view on that, my friend?
It was a fantastic season, no question about it. Great players, good mentality. I still think the 91 team was better, in my opinion. Tactically more astute. I think if we'd had George Graham at Arsenal in that season, we would have won the Champions League. Personally. Yeah. It was a fantastic achievement. Going a season unbeaten is incredible. You mentioned Preston North End. There was an occasion where Liverpool went unbeaten for a season as well, but it was in the second division. That's why I don't think it gets a lot of mention. But yeah, they did manage to do it, but it was in the second division. So, but yeah, going a whole league season without losing is just unbelievable, especially in the modern era.
Yeah, that's my point. In that era, when you had Arsenal continually battling with Man United. But Kyle, what's your view on this, my friend?
An amazing season. Great manager at the time. Wenger was magnificent, not just Arsenal, but the English football in general. He changed the game of football. The players were exceptional. There were some exceptional players on that team. Winning mentality that I always speak about on my videos. Every single one of them had a winning mentality. The football was glorious to watch. Great football. And I always loved the 91 Arsenal team. I always loved the 98 Arsenal team. And I also love this Invincible team. And for me, the Invincible team is the best Arsenal team that I've ever seen. That's just my opinion. And I think, Jez, you hit the nail on the head. We were fighting against possibly the greatest Man United team of all time as well. Like, we will never see football and football teams and players like that again. Ever. The talks about Man City and Liverpool in today's game, that they're the two greatest of all time teams England ever saw. I personally believe the 99 Man United team and the 2004 Arsenal team will beat those two teams today. That's my honest opinion. But it was magnificent to watch, guys. It was great times.
Absolutely, man. I mean, when I was watching that team, you could sense there was something special going on. Their fight, even when they were losing, you knew they were going to win. And I don't see that in the current squad. Hopefully, with our new players, which I mean, I watched the game last night. Sadly, it was delayed for an hour's kickoff because of bad weather, threats of lightning. But the first half of that game against last night, Orlando City, was pretty damn boring. I won't lie. It was pretty damn boring. But Arsenal, with some changes in the second half and that, muscled it through. But I'd expect them to muscle it through with the quality players we have against this team. So, but let's get into it. So Arsenal, first game, Charity Shield, FA Cup winners against Man United, and it's 0-0. So the season starts. I'm going to have to look at my stats here. First game at home, Everton, 2-1 winners, and it sets off this particular season, and something that none of us back in time that really expected this to happen. Do you remember that game? I mean, I was at that game, and it wasn't a great game, to be fair, but it went on to be the foundation of Arsenal's most iconic season that we'll ever probably see. Certainly in my lifetime.
I don't remember that game, guys. Sitting here tonight now, you're asking the question. I can't remember. If you mention it to me now, it probably could all come back to me, all right.
Yeah, it was it was home, Everton, and it wasn't. I wouldn't say it's a great performance, but I'll also say that there wasn't a lot of great performances. But Arsenal had the ambition to muscle through that season, and this is the time when I'd have to say Wenger was at the peak of his best, without a shadow of a doubt. His ability to mix it up, change. I mean, he had an amazing squad, and that purely and simply says that the quality was above and beyond. Yeah. We had a Man United team. I mean, we'll get onto it in a minute when we had the bust up with Man United, and Arsenal got fined. I think it was 170-something thousand pounds for that. But the depth of this squad was incredible.
Yeah.
We had magical players all over the park. Warren,
Mate,
what's your view on this?
See, the first game I remember from that season was the 4-0 win at Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was live on TV. At that stage, I didn't have my season ticket anymore, so I wasn't able to get to many games. But I remember watching it and thinking, gee whiz, this is unbelievable. The football that was played that day was just on another level. It really was. absolutely ripped them to shreds. It was just 4-0, I think it was.
I think you're right.
You know, but there were, like you say, there was players all over the park. They still had the famous back five: Dixon, Winterburn, Bold, Keown, Adams, and Seaman, and Winterburn, and then you had Gilberto and Vieira, and Perez, Ljungberg, Henry, Bergkamp. They're all over the bloody pitch. There was just world-class players all over the shop. Now, I want to give a big shout out to Gilberto, because, as I said, I wasn't able to go much at that season because my season ticket expired years before. And I remember talking to one of my mates who was a massive Arsenal fan and season ticket holder, right? And he used to say that the work that fella gets through is just unbelievable. He's up, he's down, he's left and right. He's just absolutely phenomenal. The work that man gets through is just incredible. So I just think he was just an awesome player.
Absolutely, all day. Taib Khan says, who's your player of the season 03-04? All day, man, Thierry Henry. The guy was unreal. Nobody could handle him. Nobody could handle that guy. He was just incredible. I can remember watching games where when he was running a defence, they were crapping themselves. They just didn't know how to handle him. He was an immense player. And just do some comments. Arsenal Alex, nice to see you, my friend. Big up 3 real fans, yeah. Proper fans here. Don't have any idiots. Craig AFC 87, Arsenal 2004. League table 126, drew 12, lost none. Goals for, 73, goals against 26 points, 19. Yes. Proven point. Craig, again, Thierry Henry scored 39 goals in 51 games. I mean, that is some strike rate, isn't it? I mean, come on. That just shows how good this guy was. I mean, the guy was unbelievable. But Arsenal, sorry. Wenger let me down that season. He should have won the Champions League. Well, gave it a fair go, my friend. Gave it a fair go. But, yeah, I hear you say. Lockie, 73, Borough away, nice. Going to Middlesbrough away, from my experience, is never a good day out. Warren will tell you a story about that one.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it, Warren?
Yeah, I'll tell you about it. We went there the 89 season, right? I think it was the last away game of the season, before the Liverpool one anyway. And we got there to the local railway station, and we had to get these old beat up buses to take us to the ground. We got on this bus and we were going towards the stadium, and then when we got right near the ground, it was at Ayresome Park as it was then, the old ground. Fellas were coming up, banging on the windows. They were literally frothing at the mouth, trying to get at us. Then when we got inside the ground, they were throwing potatoes at us that had razor blades in them. And I can't help. And I think it was the Gooner fanzine or whatever it was called. They'd organise, they'd try to get everyone to go to the game in fancy dress. So there's all these fellas in this bloody fancy dress, if I remember rightly. And it was like, you kept looking to see if there was any of these potatoes going to come flying down. Jesus. It was horrible, Chris.
Yeah.
And it's not the first time. It wasn't the first time that I'd had trouble up there with Middlesbrough. And they hate Arsenal. Why? I don't know. I know that you're going to mention it in a future show, I believe. But they do not like Arsenal at all.
No, it's a weird one. It's a really weird one. But Kyle,
Yeah.
your fond memory of. I don't know, there's a strange noise going on here somewhere.
There is a strange noise, yeah.
Your fond memories of that particular season. What to you? Who was, in your opinion, the best Arsenal player that season?
There's a few things, Jace, I'd like to say. First of all, I think it's an absolute disgrace that Thierry Henry didn't get the World Player of the Year. He was by far the best player in the world at that particular time. And yes, he was the best player that season. But I would like Warren said, Gilberto Silva was a workhorse. And I think he was a big part of that squad to get over the line in most games. And he scored some very important goals too, Jace, that season. Gilberto Silva. But I would like to big mention to Robert Perez, who I absolutely idolise. I think Robert Perez was an absolute football genius. And what better sight to see Robert running down the flank, doing his magic. He was a big part of it as well. And to me, Perez and Gilberto Silva don't get the recognition that I think that they should get. Quality players, just great players. But overall, Jays, my number one performer of that season has to be Thierry Henry, like yourself. But I had to mention Perez and Gilberto Silva and Freddie Ljungberg. You don't really hear much about Freddie Ljungberg either. Ljungberg was an exceptional player. And what I loved about Freddie Ljungberg was he always scored against those other fellas. Man United up the road there. He always scored against them. But James, we will never see anything like this again. And that's why I feel so angry about the way our club has gone. To go from that, James, down to where we are, it's a disgrace. I can't. You can't put into words. And you have lads that didn't see that and are coming out on social media calling us all sorts of names and all the rest. They haven't seen what we've seen. They didn't witness that. And I think that we should be aiming to win league titles year in, year out. Because why did we do that to go to where we are now? Don't make sense to me. But overall, Jays, Thierry Henry was my main performer that season. And what an exceptional season it was.
It was. And Arsenal Alex is asking, I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. George Graham was a better Arsenal manager considering the time both were managing the club. Yeah, mate, that's a real tough one. I think he was unlucky in that 91. What he achieved in 89 was exceptional. And that makes me laugh because last night, that little show I did last night about why Arsenal fans will accept mediocrity. I don't know where this noise is coming.
Listen, I'm not sure. It might be me. I'm going to go out and then come back in again, see if it's me.
All right, mate. All right. What was I saying? Yeah, the 89 season. Yeah, I had a guy last night in the chat saying that Arsenal didn't deserve to win that because of what happened at Liverpool at Hillsborough. What happened at Hillsborough, it was a horrendous thing. So I totally agree on that. But the fact is, Arsenal won the league, and we have to accept that. So don't be salty about it. It happened. It's done. It's a long time ago, and I'm very sad that those 97 innocent people died at Hillsborough. But we'll move on. Lockie 73. Ashley Cole was the best pre-radicals. Yep, all done. And Tahib Hussein, big up Jesus. I'm now Brazilian. I have a Brazilian name. Love you, Tahib. Thank you, my friend. You're top fella. Get Warren back in. Get Warren back in.
Did he stop while I was out, Jez?
I'm going to go out now and see.
All right, come back in, man. Sometimes I don't know what it is. You get this weird stuff on StreamYard. Carl Rossi says I was all ill in until I heard Razor Blades. Yes, I don't know what's going on. It's madness, honestly. Craig AFC 87. Arsenal home record 15-4-0-49. Away record 11-8-0-41. Yeah, and you cannot disagree. This was an exceptional season. It seriously was. Craig AFC 87. Ty, big up. And we have Zoe. Lovely to see you, Zoe. Even people hope everyone is well, all doing good, I think. Carl, you razor sharp as a razor or blunt like Arteta's genitals. Yeah, blimey. All day. And we have Danny VR. Thank you for your super chat, my friend. Vieira was an intelligent beast. Have to agree on that one, Jed. All day, man. All day. We're going to come on to that fella. Top player. Big up the latest Carl Rossi at Carl Rossi. Hope you're well, mate. And I'm just going to get Kyle back in.
No, is that better or?
Yeah, it sounds like gone away. Don't know what it is about. Don't know what it's about. Anyway, let's get back. So we've talked about Thierry Henry. Next player, Patrick Vieira. Now at Crystal Palace, doing an awesome job at Crystal Palace in my book. Certainly showed Arsenal the way, didn't he? End of the last season. So I would put Patrick Vieira very close behind. Only the fact that Thierry Henry was our top goal scorer and scored so many goals. Because I'm going to quote George Graham, when Arsenal were losing games, would turn around and say, yeah, but Henry hasn't scored yet. That's the faith he had in that player. And we had Patrick Vieira gassing it up in midfield, a serious warrior. Kyle, what's your view, man?
Top 3 greatest captains in Arsenal's history, in my opinion. And we have never had a captain since Vieira. He's the last great captain of this club. Jays, for such a tall, lanky looking man, the skill that man had, it's not recognized. He was so skillful, so tough. He had the winning mentality. You would go to war with this man. You go to the trenches. You go into the battlefield with him. You believed in him. He was an exceptional player, Jace. And the great thing about Wenger was he had such a great connection with the French football. And he was able to bring these lads from France into our game without any of us actually even knowing who these players are. And he made them all into world beaters. Vieira, Henry, Perez, the list, Petit, the list goes on. Anelka, great players. But Patrick Vieira was a monster. And the thing I loved about him, he wasn't afraid of Roy Keane. He put it up to Roy Keane every day of the week. Now, sometimes Roy Keane won the battle, Vieira won the battle, but the respect that both them players have for each other is brilliant. Great player. Fantastic, guys. And would walk into the greatest Arsenal 11 of all time.
Warren, what's your view on Patrick Vieira, my friend?
I just think he was immense, Jez. Proper captain. Didn't take any nonsense on the pitch. The tear-ups he used to have with Roy Keane. It sums it all up, really. And the way that he used to glide across that pitch. The one memory that stands out for me was that game at White Hart Lane when he was breaking forward through the midfield and he was just running through them like a knife through butter. And that used to happen on a regular basis. It wasn't a one-off. He would just go and destroy teams the way he used to run through them. And he was so powerful, big, imposing. And he would just intimidate people. And I think, in the English game, you need that. You need that sort of nasty side, shall you say, to the game. You need to do it, otherwise you won't get anywhere. And I don't think this team's got it.
No.
The current one.
The other key factor that I believe in the closed season, we signed Jens Lehmann, goalkeeper, German goalkeeper, made a major difference. What's your views, guys, on that one?
Well, he was the first cog, wasn't he, in the spine? So there was him, and then there was Adam still playing then, or had he gone by then? I think he was still there, wasn't he?
The back four, basically Lauren, Cole, yeah, and
Campbell.
That mean Keogh and Edu.
Yeah.
Edu.
So
God, do I say it? Edu.
Yeah. So you had Lehmann, then you had in front of him you had Campbell and
Clichy, Cole, and Campbell, Toure.
Yeah, Keown. And then in the midfield you had Vieira, and then up front you had Henry. So the whole spine of that team was physically imposing, strong and big, right? Now, I think I know why Wenger changed from that to going for little fellas. I think it was what happened to us in that Champions League game against Barcelona at the Emirates when they had us pinned in our own half for like about 20 minutes at the start of the game. And I think he saw that and thought, right, this is the future. This is what we need to do. But yeah, the whole spine of that team was just big, physically imposing, aggressive, and you weren't going to intimidate them.
No, I'm not sure. I necessarily agree about what you said there, but I see a point. But Kyle, that's when we had Jens Lehmann come in. I think he made a major difference in the goalkeeping world. Seaman's like time's done, and he came in, and I remember watching that guy so many times in that season, and he was a very commanding player in the box. Very commanding. What's your view, my friend?
Jace, I always thought the Jens Lehmann was a good goalkeeper. And the thing about Jens Lehmann, he was a very good character. He was a leader. He was a winner. And he took no crap. No, he was a complete madman, Jace.
Yeah.
But he had the quality to back up his madness. But for a good goalkeeper, in my opinion, a good goalkeeper have to be mad one way or the other, Jace. So he was a really, really good goalkeeper for Arsenal. And absolutely, you could rely on him. Because as a defender, I'd like to think, if I'm a defender, that I like to think that I can be confident enough with my goalkeeper behind me. And I'm sure if you asked any of those backs that played for Arsenal in that era, they all tell you the same thing, that they were confident against their man in goal. But the spine was very good back then. Big, strong, commanding players. But it was a different time. It was a different time of football than what it is now. But Jens Lehmann, yeah. But the one thing about Jens Lehmann, I always say is, it broke my heart in the Champions League final when he got sent off. But the thing that really kicked me was that Wenger took Perez off and replaced him in the Champions League final. And I was so gutted for Perez that time because he was an exceptional player. But yeah, no, overall, I was happy with Jens Lehmann, Jace. I thought he was really, really good goalkeeper.
Yeah. This is a great comment. JG. It was the good old days, as you could imagine, how I gave it the large at 19-year-olds on the P all the time, smug as knowing that even when we got a red, we would still win. We took the piss. Yes, but the fact is, we knew how good this team was, and the fact that they would dig it out. I can remember watching games on thinking, oh, Christ, we're going to lose this. You know, I wasn't even contemplating the fact that we could get go unbeaten. I thought, oh, God, here we go. And all of a sudden, the 2-1 up. And I think, well, where's that come from? Because all of a sudden, the team would just go unbelievable. They'd suddenly say, no, we're not going to be in fourth gear. We're going to sixth gear. And they would just up the ante and wipe teams out. And like I can remember watching games where you could see players thinking, where's this come from? We were winning 1-0. And all of a sudden we're 2-1 down in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That was the ambition of this football team. They wanted it so much. But we'll have a little discussion in a minute about
Jason Warren, I have a quick question to ask you about that season.
Go on.
An incident that I'd say you remember. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of a different season altogether. But was it Portsmouth we were playing and we were getting beaten 1-0 and Robert Perez dived inside the box and won a penalty. And we drew that game. Was that season, can you remember? Or am I talking about a different season?
Oh, I'll soon tell you.
Yeah, it was. It's against Portsmouth at home. We were
Portsmouth
losing
at home, yeah.
And Bobby Perez went over quite easily in the penalty area. We got a penalty, and there was a lot of hoo-ha in the tunnel after the game.
That's right.
Because the Portsmouth players were really upset about it. And apparently Perez went on record saying, I couldn't understand what they were saying, but I could tell that they were upset.
We got lucky in that game because he did dive. He went down and I love the man, but he went down very easy in that game.
Just to clarify that one, we played Portsmouth in the 6th round of the FA Cup, and it was 3-0 half-time and 5-1 full-time. Toure, Lumberg 2, Omri 2. So that was the FA Cup. if that's the game you're referring to.
So it wasn't the Premier League then, Warren?
No,
It was Premier League I was talking about.
Championship.
It was near the beginning of the season.
But Portsmouth weren't in the Premier League back then.
Were they not?
No, they weren't.
Jesus Christ.
No,
I'm about to put the spanner in the works here.
they're in the Championship, guys. No.
Jess, look, 13th September 2003, Portsmouth home 1-1. Henry penalty.
Hang on, I'm looking.
Match number 5.
2003-04 season.
Yeah.
2003-04. You're talking about when? September.
Yeah, 13th September 2003. Portsmouth at home 1-1. Henry penalty.
No, mate. Oh, yeah, sorry, man. Yeah. No, mate. Yeah, 2002, 2003.
Is it?
Yes, you're talking about.
A year before, season before.
You're a year behind, man.
All right.
A year behind.
0203 that was. But yeah, I've lost my thread now. There we go. Carl Rossi, some love for fantastic streams, mate. They are brilliant. Thank you, my friend. Sorry, I lost my thread there. Vieira leaving in 2005 was the beginning of the end. Yep, and unfortunately, we lost so many bloody players. And, you know, after the Champions League, we lost Henry. He wanted to go. He moved on. Can't knock him for it. He wanted to go on to win. I mean, let's be honest. Arsenal have been pretty crap in Europe always. And this fella last night that was having a debate with another fella in the chat, he's obviously a Liverpool fan and respect. But, yeah, I can't knock it. Liverpool are awesome in Europe. Awesome. And major respect to them. So I can't knock that. And so JG, Henry was like a greyhound out the trap, Bergkamp class, unbelievable, sold at Vieira. We had proper defenders then and even let Sol Campbell win trophies with us. Yes, we did. Now, this is got a shout out, guys. I have 3 channel members. Wow. Thank you. So really thank you. So I'm planning to do a members only show, maybe once every 2 weeks with a guest. Maybe Kyle, Warren, Gracie May, I have a secret, but I'm not going to share it just yet. But a certain gentleman who we all watch is next season going to come on my channel every 2 weeks. And look out for that. I'm not announcing it yet, but I think we all know who it is. But that would be amazing. He'll be on with Kenny Ken. And what I'm going to do on that, I'm going to add another one of you YouTubers, Warren, Kyle, Delboy, Gracie, Diesel, Northside, all you guys to come on one at a time, and we'll have a great time. It will be amazing. We've been speaking for the last couple of days about it, and so watch out for that. Corsi, I played rugby most of my life, never football. Vieira was an inspiration to me, even in rugby, as a fighter. Yeah, he was a fighter. The one of the few that had the respect of even rugby fans. Legend on and off the field. Mate, still a legend in my eyes. I mean, personally, what he did for Arsenal Football Club back then, why has that guy not got more recognition? Honestly, I think it's shocking. So, Arsenal, moving on. And I want to talk about one particular game. Okay? One particular game. This is a very important game in the season. 8th of November 2003. Yeah. You probably might not know it or remember it, but we're home to Tottenham, right? And they go 1-0 up. But Arsenal are not accepting this anymore. They're like seriously fighting. I was at that game and I can remember thinking, oh shit, here we go. You know, Tottenham, come down here. Then, second half, 2 goals, job done. Now, I don't know if you guys remember that game. It was a very, very physical game. Seriously physical game. And it, to me, set the standard for the rest of the season because Lundberg and Perez were immense in that game. Unbelievable. I mean, I remember, I think it was Lundberg got man of the match. I'm pretty certain he did. It was on Sky Sports. And I can remember watching that back after the game. It was an unbelievable battle. A proper battle. But I'll just do Diego's comment here. List of your invincible squad. Keepers: Jens Lehmann, Stuart Taylor, Rami Shaban. Really? Defenders: Ashley Cole, Martin Keown, Pascal Saigon, Gail Clichy, Sol Campbell, Kolo Toure, Lauren. I can't disagree with you there, my friend. Rami Shaban.
There's a player that never get the recognition either, Jace. Toure. I thought Toure was a fantastic defender.
Oh, all day, man, all day. But do you, Warren? Do you remember that particular fight against Tottenham?
I have to say, I remember the one obviously at White Hart Lane. The one game that really stands out in my head though was the game against Liverpool. Highbury, when we looked like it was that week, we almost lost the league as well because we got out of the Champions League, I think we got out of the FA Cup, the League Cup, and like people were starting to question the mentality of the team. And Henry, he weren't having it. I think we went 2-1 down, and he weren't having it, and he just scored that amazing goal.
Oh, yes. When he went around 5 defenders.
Yeah. I mean, the Spurs game at home, I obviously watched it, but I just can't remember it, mate.
I remember that Spurs game. It was on Sky Sports. Perez did score in that game, Jez, didn't he? Yeah. He was exceptional. I do remember that was a big battle. It was on Sky Sports. I remember watching it. I thought that we were going to actually draw that game myself, but Perez was magical that day. And there's another one for you. Maybe I'm wrong again, getting the seasons mixed up. There's a game in Anfield, and Edu won the ball, and Perez got the ball and scored a wonder goal. Was that season?
Yeah, I'm pretty certain it was.
Perez had the yellow Arsenal jersey. I remember crying my eyes out at the end of that game. And to this very day, I still get emotional watching that goal.
So you're introing it, Carl?
How's that?
You're introing it, that goal?
It's in my intro, yeah. I just want to confirm that I'm not made to look like an idiot here. That is that season.
That's the one.
Yeah. That game stands out to me more than any of the rest of them. Because of that goal. And because it was Perez. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Class. I mean, that guy, Robert Perez, to me, was an awesome, awesome player. But the whole thing of that season, what it put to me, guys, was this Arsenal team played as an absolute unit.
Yeah.
There was something, the bonding, they weren't going to accept anything less than winning. And when it got to the point where they were drawing 0-0 or 1-0 down or whatever it happened to be, they would just come out of the traps and say, "Sod you, we're going to beat you." And that is what it was all about. And I don't think I've ever seen that in a team ever since. Ever. I mean, you could see, I remember being at games that season and you could see the ambition. You could see if they went 1-0 down at Highbury or away, you could see their anger, their frustration, their annoyance. I remember I think it was Martin Keown at a game, and we went 1-0 down. Jens Lehmann got looped from a goal, and he went up and he was in his face, and he was like, "Giving it some," and the whole team were that angry, pissed off. Come on, and the fight. I mean, Patrick Vieira. I mean, I remember him, in one game, and he's a big bugger, and he went up to Pascal Saigon, and he was like literally almost. He didn't, but he's almost like you can see he wanted to grab him round the throat and say, "What are you doing? What are you doing? You don't do that." And you could see him like, oh, all right. And it was a totally unwritten philosophy that Arsenal had in this team. And I would say, personal view, Arsene Wenger's ultimate best season. Would you agree with that, Warren? Would you?
100%.
Yeah, a close run thing between that one and the 2002-2003 season, because I thought we were immense that season as well, but this season was better just because he got that mentality absolutely spot on, that they managed to keep it going through the whole season and stay unbeaten, because they'd won the league like 4 or 5 weeks before the end of the season, and they still managed to keep going because sides were determined not to let them go unbeaten, you know. And I remember listening to Thierry Henry talking about that season, and he said that Patrick Vieira said when he would have going out, "I want to fight someone, but we've won the league. What is there left to fight for?" But he still went out and fought. Something like that. I don't know if that was the exact words, but I remember there was something about like them having to motivate themselves to go out and fight and keep fighting and keep fighting. And the fact they were able to do it right until the end of the season and keep going, even though they'd won the title, I just think it's incredible. I do. I just think it's an unbelievable achievement.
All day. Kyle, what's your view on it?
Yeah.
Would you say?
The winning mentality was unbelievable, and that's when I always say on my videos, that's the standard, and that's the standard I still have to this very day, and will always have to the day I die. And them players were world beaters. They went out and they put their bodies on the line week in, week out. They wanted to win, and I'm sick of people saying to me, it was a different time, a different era. And now Arsenal have to face off a great Man City, great Liverpool, great two managers. Jeez, we're Arsenal Football Club. Our mentality should be to win the league. Year in, year out. And I don't care what Man City or Liverpool have, We should be facing them, fighting against them to get the honours. We are Arsenal Football Club. Patrick Vieira, Bergkamp, Henry, Wenger, we all set them standards. But them standards are no longer there. Now we're talking about our so-called future captain is talking about 4 spots, and maybe we might win a cup along the way. What kind of captaincy is that?
Exactly.
Embarrassing. It's embarrassing. We're talking about real heroes here. Real captain there in Patrick Vieira. And now we have this clown, Odegaard, talking absolute nonsense. It's terrible. And that's where our club is.
I mean, mate, I totally agree with what you're saying, and everybody's bigging it up for the season. You know, we'll see. Arsenal Manic says, "Did you see the AFTV crew at the post-match press conference with Arteta? These puppets, they didn't have the balls to ask any telling questions and demand better standards." Well, that's because, mate, it's all set up. They want to get in with Arsenal Football Club. So they're not going to upset the apple cart because this is what they want. So they're not going to be too intrusive. They're going to play the line. They'll probably be given and told what they can and cannot ask, because that's what happens at Arsenal press conferences. Mate, I'm not going to get into it any more than that because I'll get myself in trouble. Taib says, Jez, 3 titles in his Rangers, 22 years in charge. Is that success or failure? Failure! 22 years in charge. Not good enough. In his early days, mate, he was awesome. He stayed too long. He had too much control. And the club are fighting to get rid of him. Simple as that. Gracie May, big up. Nice to see you, Gracie. Great show you did earlier. And tomorrow night, everybody, I'm on Gracie May's. Come and watch. It's going to be very interesting because Gracie is going to announce something that we are going to be doing together on our shows. Not going to. It's Gracie's privilege to announce it. So come in and have a watch. JG allow it. Not sure that means, mate, but there we go. Jaminho, Diego Stipaz, he's a good signing considering you lost Gallagher. Gallagher will be a big miss by home Crystal Palace. Can have a good season and sign a few more players. Well, we've got Palace, first game of the season. So that'll be interesting. Carl Rossi, Arsenal maniac. I can just imagine the cringe levels of it. And so it's got Gracie May growing up. The stories of the Invincible was shaped my bedtime stories. Would give me goosebumps just thinking about it. Just incredible. Yeah, it was incredible times. So we're going to skip through on this because coming to the end of the season, particular game, Arsenal, Tottenham away. Tottenham away. We're 2-0 down, half time. 2-0 down at Tottenham. Okay. And Vieira and Pires put in a masterclass to get 2-2 draw. I was at that game. It was electric. The atmosphere was unbelievable. I remember the amount, the abuse that was coming from the Tottenham crew. And that was back in when we still had a little bit of nonsense going down. But do you remember that game, guys? Do you remember it?
Again, Jays. Did Perez score in that game?
It was Vieira and Pires. Yes.
Yeah, I remember it now. Yeah. Brilliant.
We were 2-0
because
down.
like always, 2-0 down, I thought that was it. We're after blowing it. That was my mentality going in at half time. I did not, Chase, to be honest with you, I thought that was it. I did not expect us to come out in the second half the way we did. And we came out with the winning mentality, the not giving in attitude once again. And once again, Perez, like he always did, scored against Spurs. An exceptional comeback, Chase. Especially in that atmosphere.
Yeah, mate, I mean, the thing is, once again, it's being 2-0 down, which we've witnessed towards the end of last season. That team, any game at Tottenham is a tough ask. And we saw it last season. Arsenal capitulated. It was embarrassment. We got absolutely piped 3-0. This team, 2-0 down, going into half time, come out and show a masterclass to get a 2-2 draw. That showed the commitment of this team, that they wanted this so bad. And that game was the game, basically, that won Arsenal the season.
Yep.
That was it. But they still went on after that to not lose a game. To the point, as we all know, they went on a 48-game unbeaten season. Into next season, I mean. So, Warren, do you remember it, mate? Do you remember watching on the TV?
Yeah, I did. And obviously, it was dancing around the lounge when we got what we required. I remember as well listening to what Henri said about it. Before the game, the referee and the police came in and said, listen, if you win the title today, please don't celebrate on the pitch because it'll cause carnage. And all the players apparently said, yeah, no, don't worry, it's fine, don't worry about it, we won't. And near the end of the game, there was some dust up with Henri and this fella from Tottenham, and Henri took exception to it and said, just watch what happens at the end of the game, right? Because they're drawing 2-2 then. He said, just see what happens. We only need to draw. And obviously we got the draw. He said, just see what happens, right? And he said, I'm going to celebrate with my fans. And they went and celebrated with the fans, and the rest is history. But there was also in that game was what was that? I wanted to say something else about that game. Yeah, about Lehmann. I remember seeing Arsene Wenger's face when Lehmann gave away that penalty.
Yeah.
In that game, Robbie Keane scored the penalty. Wenger was absolutely fuming, right? Because someone had got in Lehmann's face, and there was one thing about him, he couldn't handle having people close to him and in his face like that. He'd lose the plot. And he wrestled this fella at the ground. The referee gave a penalty and they scored. And Wenger was not happy at all. He was absolutely fuming. But we got the point, and with that, we won the title because Chelsea messed up. And like I said, everything else was history, and we just went on and did what we needed to do.
And the fact is, case in point is, that was the second time that Arsenal had won the title at Tottenham. And that really grated against the Tottenham fans. And, something they've never done at our ground. And Arsenal managed the first half against Orlando was abysmal. Mate, I paid to watch that game last night, and it was delayed an hour because of bad weather. Gracie May, I was chatting to her on Insta. She was also watching it. I seriously struggled to keep awake in that first half. Seriously, it was pathetic. all right, it's not the normal sign. It's not the normal team we'd see playing, but, it was boring. Seriously. JG says lead by example. I think we don't. Gracie May, good evening. And AFTV and everything about them. Yep. Fakers. Good evening, Craig. Gracie May says, good evening, Craig, FC 87. Going to wrap it up in a minute, guys, because I'm
Jace, just a quick one there, Jace. A couple of things I just want to hit on there before you wrap it up. Number one, I'd like to hear what the atmosphere was like in that game, the 2-2 draw against Tottenham, especially with the league there, Jace. It must have been exceptional that night for you.
Oh, mate. Let me put it this way. When we were 2-0 down, it was not good. But when we got it back to 2-2 and we're seriously fighting, that game that night, we should have won 4-2. But we didn't. But it was awesome. The fact of how quickly the Arsenal fans were going mental at 2-2 with literally 5 minutes to go, the nervousness, the tension was unbelievable. But the one thing I will say to you is when we stayed in the ground, the police kept all the Arsenal fans in the ground until the ground emptied. And it went on, the noise went on for 40 minutes. It was incredible. They knew that they had to keep everybody in the stadium until Tottenham had dispersed, because you knew that outside it was going to be a war. To go down to the old White Hart Lane and win for the second time the league
Unbelievable.
was going to be unbelievable. But going back down to Highbury after that game, knowing that Arsenal had done it, once again, it was nearly as exceptional as the night Arsenal won in '89 at Liverpool, coming back down, and it was like coming back '89, getting back to Highbury about 3 a.m, and it was just party. I mean,
class.
It was like partying till midday and beyond. Everybody around Highbury, the streets were full of people. And that night at Tottenham, it was pretty much similar. People, elderly ladies were out in the streets having a glass of beer and gin or whatever. It was exceptional times, Times, unfortunately, we won't see around the Emirates because it's a totally different setup. But
yeah,
McDowell's Human Resources Department, love that. I loved that title. I'm from South USA, and my grandma had an old saying. It applies perfectly to this current Arsenal team. We've gone from sugar to shit. Exactly. I don't disagree. Thank you, mate, for your super chat. You're a top fella. You're always in there. So I'm going to go through these comments, guys. Diego C. Palace, please set notification on Arsenal History More and Gracie May. Yeah, get Gracie May. Let's get her up to 1K. She's not far away. She deserves it because she's now back streaming. She had a nightmare time with her computer, bless her. She's back out, streamed today, and I'm on with her tomorrow night, guys. Come and watch. It's going to be a great show. But also, people, go and subscribe to Warren's Team Talk. Please go and subscribe to him. He does awesome content on his channels. His graphics and stuff he does. I am going to call you up, Warren, and get some tips. And Kyle Walsh, go and subscribe to this fella, guys. You know, he's passionate. He's probably one of the most passionate fans I know. You know, I watched you the other week when you were doing that, driving to that festival. And, mate, it was awesome. Absolutely awesome. So, guys, go and subscribe to these fellas. They really do. I mean, the other thing is, Warren does an amazing thing on Diesel's channel about the paranormal. The one the other did the other week about Roswell. Wow.
Brilliant.
Wow. Brilliant.
Brilliant stuff.
JG, hi.
Jez.
Yes. My home. Well, it was. It's very, James Steele, it's very rare we come back and show character. No character for years. Yep. Well, look at last year. You know, we go 1-0 down and just fall asleep. And that's the way it goes. Diego Cipello, they must have dug deep. Very. Yes, they did. And that's how they work. Years of
Jez,
yep.
I just like to say, Jez, the few lads there, that they have TV. I saw that interview. Absolutely embarrassing. And this is what's wrong with the club as well. And I call it out. I don't care. And it's me talking, not anyone else. I was saying some of them characters on that FTV are clowns. And I saw one fella there with the JSU was signing. And he done the Sambi dance outside the stadium. I didn't see anyone doing Sambi dances outside the stadium when a replayer like Gilberto Silva was signed. I think the whole thing is a farce. And I tell you what, the biggest farce of the whole lot of it is, Jez, without me getting too angry. This new black away Arsenal jersey. And all you have is the cannon. Where's the Christ? All you have is the cannon. And it sold over £1 million on its release day. It's the biggest ever merchandise to be sold at Arsenal Football Club. What is wrong with this fan base? Oh, I'm sick of the whole lot of it. A cannon. It's all you have on the jersey. It's embarrassing. The whole thing is embarrassing. So I'd just like to get a few that off my chest because I'm fuming over the whole thing. And Shaka gave an interview there yesterday as well, and he talking crap as well. Go out and win something. Prove to us that you're a player, that you're an Arsenal player. Don't be talking. So I'm sick of the whole of it, so I am, Jez. So I just wanted to say that, you know, I'm very frustrated. And we're going into the new season in 2-3 weeks' time. And I personally do not think that we are ready for it. I think we're going into a season that's going to be worse than last season. That's my opinion.
I can't disagree with my friend. The thing is, with that channel, they're on an agenda. And I was chatting with Lee and Kenny earlier. And if you had heard what Kenny was saying, and he had it spot on. I'm not going to repeat it because that's for him to say another time, another day. But I'm sure he will next week when he's on the show next week mention it. So I'm going to leave it to him. He's got an inside to this. I mean, remember, he used to be on AFTV. So he knows a lot more about it than I do. So we'll come on to that. Craig AFC 87. Jesuit was 49 games unbeaten. Yes, it was. I apologise. I'm sorry. I'm getting old. I forget. But there we go. And like I said, I sat in this Paxton. Did you really? Spuds, yeah. For the 2-2. No shirt, of course. You should have done. They would have touched you. They're all pussies. Yeah, they like to give it the big one, but you know, had a few run-ins with them over the years. David Martin, lads, what's your thoughts on our transfers so far? Jesus, I'm very happy with. And guys, what's your views?
Shocking. Once again. That's my view. Yeah, Jesus, he's a good addition to the squad, to the team. He's better than what we have. My problem is, if he gets injured, we're relying on Eddie Nketiah. It's an absolute embarrassment. The other thing is, Shevchenko. Now all of a sudden he's the best left back in the world. Shevchenko, he's a good player. If Tierney was fit, he wouldn't see left back. But Tierney, obviously, is always injured. Now they're saying that Shevchenko can play midfield. I saw a stat saying that he only played 3 times in midfield for Man City. So you will want to be kind of relying on him now to do your wonders. Jays, who the hell are the 2 American fellas? And this young Brazilian fella? And this Vieira fella? And people are trying to tell me that we're after doing great, that this is a great transfer window, and that we can actually compete to win something. Let me tell everybody here tonight, we be competing to win nothing. And wait till you see. This is an embarrassment. We need 6 or 7 other players, Jays, to compete. That's my opinion. Because we are so off the mark, it's not even funny. And by the way, 400 million has been spent, by the way. 400 million on Arteta's watch. No more excuses, people. He don't succeed this season, out. I don't want to hear any more excuses. Sick of it. Clowns.
Warren, what's your view, my friend? How do you see it going? I mean, how do you see are you happy or?
I don't think we're anywhere near ready. I think we still need lots of players, and I'm not talking about just 2 or 3. We need midfield. We need a lot of midfielders. We need defenders. We need, my opinion, if Leno's going, we need a backup goalkeeper. Couple of strikers. Every department of the field we need reinforcing. But it's too many to do all at once because it'll unstable the team, and it'll just cause absolute mayhem. It's not a good idea to bring in loads and loads of players all at once. It never works. But I think we're going to have a difficult time next season. I really do. And, it just staggers me that this fella spent £400 million, right? And I personally, my opinion, I don't think we're any further forward than we were the day that he took the job on. I don't. I just think, we've either at the same level or we've gone backwards. And I just don't think that we're going to do anything next season. I think we'll finish between 7th and 9th. Probably go out in the second knockout round of the Europa League. And I'm not expecting anything major in the 2 domestic cups either. So, but the sad thing is, I don't think they'll sack him because I think he's doing exactly what they want him to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm halfway on this. Jesus, I think, is a great addition. I've watched him in 2 games in pre-season against not 2 great teams. Let's be fair, but I think Zinchenko coming in is, my question is, how much is he going to play? If Tierney's fit, which we all know he won't be for a whole season, we need a decent left back. And this guy is a decent left back. He can also play central defence midfielder, right? And we need somebody there that can play that role. So I am hoping, in my heart of hearts, that Arteta has the brain cell to realise if Tierney's playing, pick him in that role. Right? Now, last night, watching that game, it was clear to me that a certain player that I've been supporting for a long time, Pepe, his time is done. He was poor. And I can't blame the fella. I can't blame him because he's been misused. He's never been given the ability. And I wish that guy all the best. And if I was him, I would, of this morning, said, I want to put in a transfer request. But the fact that we paid £72 million for that guy and nobody is interested is the fact that he hasn't been given the game time to prove himself. And maybe he is just not good enough for Premiership. We've seen it in the past, guys. Some players come in the Premiership. They've been brilliant in La Liga, but they just can't step it up in the Premiership. So, you know, I feel desperately sorry for that guy. I really do. But
it's a sad story. It's a sad story, Jess, because he can play football. He's a very talented player. But his confidence must be shattered, Jace.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, you know, must be shattered. And the problem is, like you said, we paid 72 million for him. And I'm sure he's on big wages. So what club really is going to take a chance, a gamble on him, you know?
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
I totally agree. I can't disagree with you. I just can't disagree. And read this comment out. Danny Vieira, channel member, top fella. I'm going to do something in the next couple of weeks, my friend. Just got to work out how I do it, because I'll be honest with you, I don't know how to do it, but I will find out. Tottenham equals Burnley equals Leeds titles. Arsenal are donning them a favour with that London derby. Territorial thing, but the two clubs are on different planets. Can't disagree with that. So we're going to move it on, because I need to move it on. See if I can find some comments here. And Martin Colton, 9-8 was class as well. Yes, it was all day long. Can't disagree with that. David Martin says, I went to Highbury with my dad against Wolves in a cup. I think it was 6-1. Wall toured Perez and Canu. Yeah, it was. I was at that game. Got a super chat I've got to do here, guys. Loves music. Thank you, my friend. All appreciate it. Hi, Jez. I'm a die-hard Spurs fan, but you, Lee, Kenny, Kay are the real deal. Mate, we speak it as it is. You know, I have always said, Lee doesn't agree with me on this, and I love him for it. He doesn't agree that Tottenham are rivals. Well, to me, historically, yes. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. And it goes back in time. And on my next history show, I will prove why. Because after Arsenal in World War One come back and the Football League starts, you'll see why Tottenham hate Arsenal so much. And yeah, I mean, I've had some good days at Tottenham. I've had some bloody awful days at Tottenham. But, you know, it is what it is. Tottenham are a great club. You can't deny that. You know, first team in 61 to do the double. You can't argue against that, you know, and you can't knock it. They've had some great players, Jimmy Greaves and all that, you know. Yeah. I don't hate Tottenham. Go on.
Jace, just a quick one, Jace. One of my very first times going over to an Arsenal game on my own, I went over with the Arsenal jersey on me, tracksuit bottoms, off I went. I got the troop down, and I got off at the Seven Sisters stop. I got off the, and the next thing, some fella came over to me and says, "Hey, Giza, are you fucking crazy? Arsenal jersey, get back in and get down to the Arsenal." Oh, Jace, I thought I was going to be killed that night. I was on my own. Oh, I couldn't wait to get out. Everybody was looking at me like I was a madman. Oh, jeez, surrounded by white Tottenham jerseys. Not aside, but I remember saying to myself, I'll never get off this stop again, ever.
No, you don't want to do that, my friend. You don't want to be doing that. No.
No.
Loves music once. AFTV are purely for the pounds, not the fans. Yeah, and I said this a long time ago. on Lee's show. They do not speak my opinion. They give this absolute bullshit. They're speaking for the Arsenal fans. No, you're speaking for what you think. You're not speaking for me. You're not speaking for Warren. You're not speaking for Kyle. You're not speaking for Del Boy. You're not speaking for Gracie May. You're not speaking for Lee Gunner, Kenny Ken, and every other majority of YouTubers, small YouTubers like us. You know, we're never going to, let's get it right, we're never going to be as big as AFTV. They've got massive sponsorship, they've got massive professional setup, and they're trying to get in with Arsenal Football Club. And good luck to them. Fair play. I ain't got a problem with it. But don't sit there and say you're speaking for the Arsenal fan. You're not bloody speaking for me, all right? Jack Ramsey, top fella, Palace. Eden Jess still struggling with Nan. Oh, no. Oh, mate, I'm sorry to hear this. She's got terminal cancer, so I'm looking at, oh, mate, I'm so sorry. Give my blessings, my friend, to your lovely Nan, yeah? Oh, mate, that's tragic. I'm sorry. Jonathan Higgins, 71-89 Arsenal kit had the cannon. Yes, it did. And I've got them. I've got those kits. My 71 kit, no way I'd fit into it, because when I had that 71 kit, I was 10. So I'm a bit fatter now. There you go. I just like to say about those two teams with the cannon, they were winners. Not like the crowd of clowns that we have today with the cannon. Completely different. Yeah, and the cannon faced the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like it does nowadays. But guys, so Arsenal have won the league at Tottenham. We've done the deed. Yeah. And we'll quickly chat about the last game. And it's at home to Leicester City. And we're 1-0 down at half time. 1-0 down. And everybody's like, oh, God, here we go. You know, we've got all this time. It's that Highbury. Everybody's gassed up. We've won the league, da-da-da-da-da. And then the most amazing thing happens. Vieira, early in the second half, scores that wonder goal. I don't know if you remember it. The curler, straight in, top bins. And then Henry gets the penalty to win the game 2-1. We go unbeaten. The whole place goes absolutely ballistic. I mean, it was like, I can't tell you. It was, I don't know if you, Warren, were you at that match?
No, I was watching it on TV.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just remember it. I was in the North Bank, and it was by then, of course, it's all seated, as you remember, you know, da-da-da. And I remember being catapulted about 2 rows down in 2 guys that I knew. And I was like, it's just unbelievable. People were mental, clock end, high, you know, the east and west, everything was just like stupidity. There wasn't many Leicester fans there that day, as I remember. And it was just, I can't describe it to you guys. It was just unbelievable. And then they started, the players just came running down. The Arsenal players came running down from the North Bank. They were throwing stuff that had been given into the fans all around. Some went down the clock end, da-da-da-da-da. It was all this. And then, of course, the iconic presentation of the trophy, which was unreal. And then I remember a few weeks, I think it was a month, 6 weeks later, that fans were invited to go and see the presentation of the iconic gold trophy. And that was quite special. So It was an amazing season. That's all you can
Yeah.
say. Something I don't think personally I don't think in my lifetime I'll ever see that again. Personally, so I count myself lucky to have seen that. I really do.
Yeah.
But from Arsenal, Jez, or do you think someone else would do it, like Liverpool or City? Could you see them doing it?
No.
I don't think so either.
Liverpool went close, didn't they? A couple of seasons ago. And to be fair, mate, I would have loved them to have done it. I would. You know, fair play. You've got to admire any team that can achieve that level of football. And I was pissed off, man, when I saw all these little plastic Arsenal fans. Hey, it's all gold. It's all gold. No, you didn't do it. I mean, bollocks. Fuck off. I'm not into that. I'm not that sort of fan, you know. I love football and I accept how good a team is. And if Liverpool had done it, fair play to them. But let's be fair, they've achieved a lot more in Europe than Arsenal ever have. So you can't knock that. So, no, I won't accept any of that. Kyle, what's your view, my friend?
My view about the whole thing is that it's a great achievement for any team to go a season undefeated. And Jace, I'm like you, I'm a football fan. Number one, an Arsenal fan, number two. And if Man City goes out and win and go a season undefeated, or Liverpool, you have to stand up and clap them.
Yeah.
And you have to say a fair play. And the gold trophy was just a symbol of what we achieved. I don't understand why it's always been brought up about a goal. If you got a goal, that's not a thing to do with it. It's just it's a cup to say that we did the Invincibles. And Man City or Liverpool, they could possibly do it, Jace. And I'd sit back and I'd clap. And I'd say, a fair play to you, lads. You did a great achievement. The thing that kills me, Jace, is when rival fans always kind of say to me, oh, yeah, you did the Invincibles, but you did 12 draws. 12 draws. That has been brought up to me on numbers of occasions. Oh, 12 draws. So what about 12 draws? We didn't get beaten. But yet they come along and they throw the 12 draws up in your face. No, I'm trying to take the shine off it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But they're not really fans.
Mate, I mean, this is the fact that if you are, as you are, and Warren is, if you're a true football lover, if a team achieves greatness, you know, as an Arsenal fan, if a team like Liverpool can achieve that, then you've got to say, I'll take my hat off, man. It's hard to do that. I'll just answer this question. Kev Roots says, I was a little young for Anfield 89, but I'm intrigued to know how well you remember it. Very, very well, man. I was there. And what it felt like when Thomas bagged the winner. Mate, I've done a show on it. If you go back into my list of shows I've done, I did about an hour and a half, very detailed stream of my personal experience of that day. And that will explain to you what that day was like. So if you want to do that, my friend, just go back through the previous listed videos. It's all there. And I go into great detail. Great show, Jez. Well, Carl, respect. Big up to you, my friend. I'm going to wrap this up soon, guys. Mr. B for life. Good to see you, my friend. Yes. RAP, you would see 96th Jewish National Sunday passed away to 85. Yeah, what a shame. Yeah, it's always sad to see people like that pass away. Arsenal Manic, we can't live by that undefeated season forever. No, we cannot. No, we cannot. I was there. It was my time. Let's be honest, we haven't won the Champions League. We've got loads of draws, got a little unfortunate Old Trafford. Yeah, but luck always comes in to football. You know, That is football, and that's what we love all about it. Kev Root says we should have won the Champions League in 2004. Wayne, yeah. Wayne Bridge. There we go. Cheers, Jess. I'll look that up. Right, guys. Just to say, thank you all for watching. This was an iconic season. Something I personally don't think I would ever see ever happen again. It was an amazing time. Very special time in football history. I remember other fans or other teams saying what an amazing team Arsenal was. And I remember talking to Tottenham fans saying that's something that's never going to be surpassed. But who knows? I think it'll be a very, very, very long time. So there you go. Anyway, Warren, shout your channel out, my friend. Where can we find you?
Yeah, so my channel is called Warren's Team Talk. If you just do a search in YouTube for me, Warren's Team Talk, you'll find me there. I'm on Instagram as well and on Twitter, though I don't really use Twitter, to be honest. And it's all the same, Warren's Team Talk. Next time I'm going to do a show will probably be on Diesel's channel. I'm going to be doing a show about the Apollo moon landing and whether or not it was a fake, because I've got my views about that. I'm not going to tell you. Everyone, come and watch it because it's going to be huge. And I watched a show about it many years ago and it changed my mind over it. So yeah, it's a good story, very interesting. So yeah, that'll be not this Tuesday coming, the Tuesday after. So sorry I haven't uploaded much lately. There's a lot of stuff going on at the moment in my life and I need to get that sorted out before I can do any streaming again. So we'll get that sorted and then we'll be back at it soon enough. So yeah, that's me.
Warren, you got your mate here, mate, Prince Fowles. Big up the main Jez, big up everyone. Warren agrees with everything I say.
Yeah, righto. Not a chance.
Kyle, where can we find you, my friend?
You find me on YouTube under the name Kai Walsh Gunner. Passionate Arsenal fan, speak off the cuff. What I think, what I feel at that particular time, I just say it as it is. People like it, people don't like it. It's my opinion. I want the standards up here. I want Arsenal to win at all costs. That's it. No more excuses. Sick of them. So Kai Walsh Gunner is the name of the channel. Appreciate everybody that tunes in. Jays, big up to Jays. Thank you very much for having me on your channel, Jays. It's always a pleasure, man. I'm looking forward to seeing more content. Warren, top man. Always gentleman. And big up to you too, Warren. And right, everybody in the chat.
It's about time I jumped in your show, my friend.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. You're all planning on things there, Jays. I'm planning on doing a few things myself. So I'm going to be doing a few live streams. I'm going to get guests on. I'm going to try to do what you're doing right now, Jays. And I'm going to be doing watch-alongs. And believe you me, and I'm going to say this, tune into a watch-along. I'll be doing it with Del Boy. And see my reaction to Arsenal playing a football match. It's worth seeing because I absolutely cracks. So, yeah, a lot coming up on the channel. So I appreciate all the support.
Top fella. Love your content. Right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. People are asking me to play the intro at the end. So I'm going to do it. But before we go, it is, as always, Arteta out, you prick.
I'm relieved to hear that you've been to some far places. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. I had seen such.
It's Thierry Henry, and Henry is magnificent. It's absolutely magnificent. And when you need a goal, you need Thierry Henry.
Suddenly change pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent.